Well, now this is Baruch here. I'm at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and we're learning here the Zohar, Parshas Vayigash. So this is a bracha that we've been going through that has to do with Yehuda. Yehuda, of course, from Yehuda, becomes the king of the Jewish people. Comes the Jewish people, David the Melech, and that whole line. So here we are, Osri the Geffen, my Geffen. So we had that pasuk. We went through some protective letters that are in that pasuk that are able to guard us and to understand that this name is being, well, I guess it's coming through Yehuda. So Yehuda is teaching this or bringing this about. Maybe that's what it means. Here's another interpretation. Osri the Geffen, tie me to a Geffen, my Geffen. What's a Geffen? This is the Jewish people. Now, let me see just down below one time. Here he says, Ella Geffen becomes the Knesset. So this is the Knesset Yisrael. Here he says, Heim Kahal Adas Yisrael. So normally the word Knesset Yisrael is reserved for Malchus. So this going this way though, he says. So he says again, also the Geffen, my Geffen was a Geffen the Knesset. So this is the Jewish people. My Iskari is Geffen. So why are we called a vineyard? Ella ma Geffen lo makabla Allah natia achra. Just like a vine will not take any other kind of vine to be grafted into it. But also the same thing as a Knesset as well. This also refers to the concept of Malchus and Zeranpin as well. He said, that we can only receive one God. That's a God called Kudsha Baruch. Of again, Knesset Yisrael is Kafyan Kama Kol Chedin Achronim. And because of the sake of the Jewish people and the Shechina, is Kafyan Kama Kol Chedin Achronim. Therefore, it beats down, it makes subservient on any other God, any other spiritual worship. Lo Yachlin, La Vasha, La Shaltara Bahama, they're not able to grow and to really, I'm not sure what La Vasha means, Shaltara Bahama, to have control. Vada Atel Krush Mak Kadisha Benaichus, and said the Pasuk puts holy names in between. Bahai Gisa, all around, it surrounds the whole idea of Yehuda. That he should, this is the way I'm hearing it a little bit. He says, so he says, a guy like Gisa, B'nei Asona, the children of the donkey. This Akar begin Haku Sarek, that they should be, because of the Jewish people, represented by this vine, they should be uprooted. Because I placed you in the midst of all that. Jewish people exist and are in the beauty of Hashem, with the beauty of Hashem in the midst of tremendous schmutz in the world. The world is a dirty, horrible place. It's a survival for the fittest. It's a dominance of a few for a short lifetime. Let's look and see. Maybe I didn't have that lined up as well as I could. Let me try it lining up a little bit better here. So he says here, we'll read the Mata B'Devash, the light print down below. O Drush ala Pasuk. So we have another Drush on this Pasuk, Osri the Geffen. Mahatam Shenikra is Geffen. Why is it called a Geffen? Ela kamo shegefen einem mekabela l'harkava netia acheres. You cannot graft any other kind of plant into it. Isacha b'kamo kain Knesset, so the same thing the Jewish people. Einem mekabela alecha aloha acher ela es HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They're not able to receive from it any other God other than Yud-Kei Vav-Kei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he says, Uvishvil Knesset Yisrael, and because of the Jewish people, Nechnoim Lefanecho, that is, they are humbled down, beaten down before her. Kol Kochos Acherim Shehem Ayer V'Chamor, all other outside powers, which are the Ayer, which I think is a female donkey, and the donkey itself. And they wouldn't have the power to be able to do evil and to control the world. So therefore, Hitel a pasuk Hashem HaKodesh Yak, so therefore the pasuk has this name Yud K. Beinechem b'tzad zeh, b'tzad zeh, in other words, a Yud on one side and a K on the other, was surrounded by it through Yehuda. Hainu Isri, that word Isri that we had before in the original pasuk, Osri, Legefen, tie them to a Gefen. Isri has an extra Yud. Legefen, Ira, well, that is the donkey, the female donkey. Ira, that tie her to the V'lesrek, and to the branch, B'nei Asono, the children of the donkey. The Mashikas of the Sreka, so here the Sreka has an extra letter. And he said, B'nei Asono, Shehi Klipa Kasha, but the B'nei Asono is a really, really hard Klipa. I mean, something we really believe and really pulls us away from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Romans the Isaker begin the Hakul Sarek, that Shena'aker, that is uprooted, Hachamor, that is the donkey is uprooted, Bishvil Yisrael, because of the Jewish people, Shenekroim Sorek, that we are called, the branch. Kalazer Emes. So he said, Anoche Natatech Sorech, Kulazer Emes, all of it is a truthful seed. Now let's be one more. Now also in regards in that same pasuk, it went on to say, Kabez B'yayin Levusha, that Yehuda will bathe in wine his garments. Now Kabez, it should be Koves Miboyle. Ala Kibes Miyoma dis Abre Alma, but rather it was washed or laundered from the day that the world, I'm not sure what that means, was created. Man Ihu Da, so who is this? Who's the washer, I guess? Da Malka Mashiach the Sata. This is the Malka Mashiach in the lower world. B'yayin Star Smola. Now when you say the wine refers to the left side. Wine is red, color the left. Ovadam Anavim, and the blood, he says, in other words, the wine that comes out, the blood of the grape, Star Smola the Sata, refers to the lower left side. The Zamin Malka Mashiach, and it will come. The Malka Mashiach, the Shalta La'ela al Kol Chelin Achronin the Amen, it would have control up above in the channels from which the light flows. Al Kol Chelin Achronin the Amen, all of the powers, the other powers of the nations. And to break their strength, me'ela or metata, up above and down below. Like, he says like this, it's like, the analogy I keep going back to is it's a Mississippi River and branches. All kinds of branches. If you go to the fount of it where it begins, it's possible to direct it in one direction, but before you get into the branches and everything starts splitting off, you have to see that the kernel of the inside of that flow is in the water and finding it. And keep trying to find it. And that's what he means. So he says, the savra tokfehum, and to the false ideas along the way. Me'ela the tata, from up above and down below. Now let's see what the Matak B'Devash says about that, so we could get a really nice idea here. He says, Kabis b'yayin levusho, his garments, he washes in wine. Kosher, that's a positive, it's a problem. He said, what's the problem? Lama of kabes lashon avar, which is in the past. Koves, which means meboile, b'lashon hova. So, like it should be presently going on, he's washing. Instead, it said kabes, which is something he did. Lomer shetamed hu koves as levushahu b'yayin, that he is constant. This is what it should say. It should say that he is constantly washing his garments in this wine. Allah kavanah sapasuk, but the real kavanah is shemiyom shenivra ha'olam. Kavar hiskil lekabes as levusha b'yayin, that already had begun to wash his garments in wine. Now, what does that mean? Zehu melech HaMashiach. So, what is it? Excuse me, I'll say there's a bit more. Mi hu hakoves levusho. So, we're talking about someone's garments being washed in wine, which he's going to say, and he did say, it refers to the left side. The left side is the side of din, but it's also the side of blood and redness. So that's what we have in the lines. Umi hu hakovas levusha. So who is a person that washes his garments? Zehu melech hamashiach. That is the melech hamashiach lamata. Haba meshevet Yehuda, who is ultimately going to come from the Shevet Yehuda. Nishbach dam yisrael b'kol hadoros. That when the blood that nishbach, that it is spilled, and we know massacre. Dam Yisrael, the blood of the Jews, B'kol Adoros, in all of the generations, Al Yedei Kol Hariga v'Hariga Shahorgim Umas Olach B'Chazitzoch, through all of the deaths, all of the killings, the piercings, the slashings, the blood. Umas Olam, that has been how the Gentiles maim us and butcher us as Yisrael. Also Mekabes as the Vusha. So then what does he do with all this blood? He washes his garments. Of Imam Mekabes, and what does he wash them with? He washes them, this is a big secret, but I don't know what to do with it, but let's see if it's of Imam Mekabes Beyayin. He washes them in wine. Hainas Star Smola, he washes them in the left line. Hudsad is small, Shabazer Anpin. So in Zer Anpin there are 3 lines, as we always say, it's the concept of balance. This is the imbalance to the left. So he says the imbalance to the left is a strong left hand. Shukur HaGavur HaDuma B'Kayayin, which is Gavur, which is red like wine. So the Obadam Anavim, and also the blood of grapes. Pirush, what's the difference between wine and the blood of grapes? Star small of the Sata. So he says this is the left side down below. Let me see, he translates. Hud sad small Gavura, this is the left line, which is Gavura. The Gavura Sheba Malchus, it comes into Malchus. Haduma Gadam, which becomes blood, red. Haduma Gadam, it becomes red like blood. So what's he trying to tell us? Let's read it again. He said, in regards to the Holy King, Melech HaMashiach, Yislahev, he become inflamed, Yislahev, enkindled, Bekoch Elu Beis Gevuros, but through the power of these 3 Gevuros, these 2 Gevuros rather. Linkom Nikbas Hashem, to take vengeance of the vengeance of the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, which is the 3 lines. So the left line can fight, and we are in a time of war, and God should bless us in every way. Zamin Malko Mashiach, and this will cause the appearance of the Malcha Mashiach l'shaltoh le'elach al kol chelin achronin da'amin. For Asid Melech HaMashiach, it's going to come about that the Melech HaMashiach will come about l'shlot l'mala, to have control up above, al kol chelim any other powers. This is the concept, just like it's almost like the astrological concept, that the light of the umos of the olam, of the nations of the world, has an origin. And in order to defeat them, one has to go to the basis, the beginning of where their mistake is made and corrected, which can only be done, he's saying here, with the power of the left side. So he says, let me read it again. V'asid Melech HaMashiach l'shlot l'mala. He's going to control those upper rivers from which these bad things that manifest in the nations. L'shlot l'mala al kol chelam acherim, and all of these other kochos, shala amen, that refer to the channels of the nations, shehem sari ma'ala shalachem, which are their upper princes, princes, meaning the upper well spring of their flow. V'leshvor ha'chuzkam, and to break the hold that these flows from where they start. V'kocham melamala, and their strength from up above. Mechasarim melamata meha'umos, from those princes. In other words, these that ultimately the channels, let's call them channels, the sarim, the main channels that go downwards into the umas ha'olam, the Arabs, the Europeans, the Chinese, because if you can defeat their koach at their source, up above, this really takes all the energy out from down below. And Hashem should guard us and bless us. This is Baruch Fleischman, and that we should have this kavanah. Amen. Ken Yiratzon.